Hey y'all, it's your girl Sharisia Janee back on the ones and the twos, and we're back with another video. We're on episode 5, y'all. We're on episode 5, and I'm just so excited to keep talking to y'all about life and laughter and just all the things that make life what it is. So again, I am yours truly, Sharisia Janee, and welcome back to Life and Laughter with Sharisia Janee for episode 5. And today we're going to be talking about new city, new me. So we're going to continue kind of a little bit from last week, but we're also going to talk about family relationships and kind of just like letting go of familiar notions, right? So I feel like, as I told y'all in the last video, I feel like I've grown so much since I've been in Birmingham and in Alabama in general, from moving away from all of my family and kind of being centralized here and being here by myself. I'm moving again, but I ain't gonna tell y'all where. But anyways, just being here, I've learned so much about myself, about who I am, about just how I am, things that I desire, things that I want in life. And so one thing for me is because of some of the things that I've experienced in my childhood. I don't really have I'm not gonna sit here and say I have childhood trauma, because I think, we all have trauma, period. How we're raised affects us in different ways, regardless. Is it trauma or is it just but I don't think that I necessarily have childhood trauma. I think I just disagree with the way that, my familial relation, with the way that my family does some things, and it's not to say that it's the wrong way of doing it, it's just my preference. And for me, so my family is most of them are educators, and nothing wrong with that. Most of them are teachers or work in the system of education. They have consistency, or they work for the state. They have something that's super consistent, 9 to 5, pays the bills, gets the job done, going about your life. And for me, I grew up in the go to school, you get a good job, you go to school, you get a degree, you get a good job, you finish, whatever, and you're supposed to get a good job. But for me, that's not I got a good job after my master's. I did, and a lot of people do go to school and get a good job. And for me, it wasn't just about go to school and get a good job. I really want my life to be very intentional. So for me, I'm an only child, raised by a single mom. My mom is my bestie. I love her to death. Shout out to my mama. Hey Keisha, if you ever watch this video. But I grew up with my mom. And, my dad, he came here and there. He wasn't like a deadbeat, but anyways, my parents' relationship, they are super close, first of all, and I love that they're still super close to this day. But it was hard for me, because to me, I'm the youngest of all of on my dad's side, I'm my grandma's only grandchild, and then on my mom's side, I'm the youngest of 5 grandchildren, and then my mom's both of my parents' only children. And I think for me, it was just so much pressure. It was so much pressure to be perfect, to do things that they wanted me to do. So I lived up to their expectations up until probably until I moved. Up until I decided that I wanted to move, that was probably me living up to other people's expectations and doing things because it's what people said I should do, or doing things because this is how they said it should be. And now I'm kind of in a space where I'm like, you know what? No, because this is my life. And I think it goes to show how you're raised. How you're raised definitely impacts who you are, I will say. A lot of my morality, my religion, my self-love, my intentionality, my drive, my passion, a lot of that is because of how I was raised. But there are also things that in moving through life, you're gonna figure out what really does work for you and what doesn't work for you. And I think that's such a tricky thing about parenting. And I be teetering on the line, do I want to have kids? Because honestly, I really, there was a time in my life, because of my relationship with my family, and I was very intentional about everything that I did with my kids. I love my kids. They not even here yet. Everything, all the career moves and all the decisions that I was making was because I love my kids. I wanted to see. I don't even have them yet. They're not even here yet. But I was thinking about that, and just being a good mom and being a good parent. And now I just look at it. For one, the world is crazy. The world is a crazy place. I look outside. I'm just I don't know that I want to bring kids into this. I don't know that I want to. And I watched Crystal Renee's podcast, Keep It Positive, Sweetie, and she said the same thing. Y'all, if y'all don't know Crystal Renee and Keep It Positive, Sweetie, I definitely recommend y'all to go watch it, because that's I feel we are very similar, and she resonates. She's an older version of me, so her story resonates with me so well. I feel like I see so much of myself in her. But just keep it positive, sweetie. She was talking about kids and how the world is, and it's I feel like I love my kids so much that I don't even want to bring them here. Like, cause I don't want them to have no pain. I don't want them to be hurt. I don't want them to be sad. Like, I just want them to be happy all the time. Like, I want them to have the easy. Like, and that's not realistic. As long as you're alive, you're gonna have problems, and I just don't want that for them. So, anyways, back to me. I think our childhood, how we are raised, plays a lot of. It does go into who we are, but as an adult, you realize who you want to be. So, as a parent, I feel like I personally feel like as a parent, you know, it's your job to prepare your kids for the world. And I that's something that I said is that I've said before is that I feel like my mom protected me from the world so much that she didn't prepare me. And I feel like I would end up doing the same thing because I love my kids so much. And I know it's out of love, like she, you know, keeping me from certain things or hiding certain things or wanting things or the pressures, want to see a certain way. But in that sense, it's not realistic. Like you have to, like as a child, you live in a bubble because you're a child. You know, your parents try to protect you from things, and I get it. But then you step into the real world, and you like, whoa. So, I think for me, you know, I look at parenting different. I look at relationships different because of that, and you know, I think it's so important that you do like self-reflect for sure. But going into this week's episode, I really just want to talk about just letting go of that. Letting go of the pressure from your family or who your family expects you to be. And don't get me wrong, family is like the cornerstone of life. Family is to be like praised. Like that is, family is key. Period, point blank. Like it's all, you know, family is key. But because of my upbringing, I didn't want to struggle. I don't want to struggle. So I'm willing to take more risks. I'm willing to take more chances. I'm willing to step out on more faith. I'm willing to be kind of present in different things and do different things and try different things. You know, I believe in there's no one way. There is no, I don't have to do this for 30 years. You know, I'm not getting a pension like from working at the same job for 30 years. Like, and also just life is too short to do anything other than like to just be here paying bills. Like that's dumb. Like why would you want to just be here just to pay bills and die, wither away? Just like that's not fulfilling. And I feel like we're all very purposeful. When you have supply, you have to be very intentional and be very purposeful in your life. And in that, it comes with just taking the steps necessary to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish and be exactly who you want to be. So for me, letting it go, I will say, first it took faith. It definitely took faith. It took me stepping into my presence, or stepping into God's presence. Me being one with God, me connecting with God and knowing like, hey, Tracy, you can do anything. Like I strongly believe, like I said on the last episode, I can do anything. So in that, I have to do a lot with faith. That was kind of part of why I had to let go. And then also being who God called me to be, not being who my mama called me to be or who my grandma called me to be. Because who they called you to be, like, they, you know, they're not. I feel like God called me to be something so special. You know, someone so special. I want to impact people's lives. I want to help y'all. I want to change lives. You know, so I feel like God called me to a higher place. And because of him calling me to a higher place, I can't do small things. Not to say that going to school, graduating, those are all big things. But for me personally in my life, like those are comfortable things, honestly. Those are the easy things to do. Like what I'm choosing to do is me choosing to be more faithful and more powerful and more just in tune with who I am as a person. And then something else that I feel like I think helped also was trusting yourself and like confidence. I keep talking about confidence in every episode, y'all, because like it's so key to everything that I feel like you do in life. Like confidence, you have to trust yourself, or you have to be able to just to look stupid. You have to be able to fail. You have to be okay with like you can't care about what the world thinks. You know, you have to be very in tune with yourself and in your journey and knowing what you're called to and what you want to do and how you want to be. So I think that was something else too, was confidence, being confident in who I am and who God made me. So it's like, yes, I appreciate your opinion, but at this point in my life, I'm an adult and this is what I want for myself. And yes, I can still choose to be fearful. I can still hold myself back. I can choose to be scared of certain things, or I can step into my power. I can step into my purpose and do what I'm supposed to be doing, because God is going to make a way. He's going to make a way. So I just truly believe in that, and letting go of what my family thought too. I've always been the black sheep of my family. Like I got in trouble growing up a lot because I would argue with them. I think that's just who I am. Honestly, talking about it, like that's just who I am. Like I used to get in trouble all the time. Like I've always been like the black sheep, talk back. Like if you're not where I want to be, you can't tell me nothing type of thing. And I've kind of always been that way. So really just that's just who I am, low key. So kind of just knowing yourself and learning yourself, like it's so important to learn yourself because then you know what you're capable of, and you know what you want to do, or you're learning what you want to do, or who you want to be. And I really think that even me moving, a lot of why I didn't want to be in Orlando because I felt suffocated. I felt like, you know, in here I'm gonna always be who they want me to be, or they're gonna always want me to be who they want me to be, or the idea of what looks good to them, or the idea of what, you know, they want life to be like. For me, whatever idea of success is for them. And for me personally, I'm like, listen, this is my life. You don't gotta live it, I gotta live it. You don't walk in my shoes. You don't know what I go through behind closed doors, because obviously I don't tell my family every single thing. So you don't know the tears I've shed, the time, you don't know what it's done to me or for me or how I feel or what I think. So it's just kind of like nobody's living my life but me. So I kind of have to use that and utilize that and grow in that and grow in my confidence in that, so that I can do the things that I desire to do. And don't get me wrong, like challenging your family is not hard, because especially when you're as close to them as I am, you grew up with them how I did. It's not an easy feat to do, because these are the people that are closest to you, that know you the best. So I just think it's not an easy feat, and it's been a journey for me to kind of just detach myself from, you know, those holds and those strong ties that keep me like, well, what would they think? Or how would they feel? And it's kind of just like, you know, I try to pride myself on being a kind person, a good person, just because that's who I am at heart. Like, that's just who I am. And I think at the end of the day, we were already created. God knew who was going to be before we even knew who was going to be. So I just think that it's so important to know who you are. Like, it's so important to know who you are, to know your calling, to know just how you are. And I believe that I shine so bright. I believe that God gave me gifts that only I can, you know, that only I can give to people. My testimony, my story, my truth, like only I can do that. And being somebody who, I'm not a first time graduate, you know, my mom has her master's degree as well. You know, my family was very structured, very much education. And do absolutely get your education. Always have that threshold. And that was when I went to school, I said, I don't even want to do this, but I do want to always have a fallback plan. So I think for me, you know, some people just have their dreams and they're able to go and dive into that and chase that. But because I was so fearful of like failing my family, letting my family down, it kind of just like, it was hard for me to let that go. But then eventually, like, I was able to let it go and to just be present in who I was and develop that confidence and that trust in myself and knowing like, and my trust in God and knowing who I am and whose I am. I was a little parched, but and just being faithful in that. And like I said, moving is not hard. It's been a lot of self-reflection, but sometimes you do have to be willing to let go of anybody, because everybody's not for you. And just because, you know, some people love you because you they cousin, you they this, you know, some people will love who you are as a person. And for me, I'm more intentional. I'm in the space where I just want people to love me for me, like not who you think I am, not who you think you know, who you like, not because of the idea that you created in your head of who I am, but because of me. And if you can't love and accept me for me, then you shouldn't be in my space. You shouldn't be in my circle. You shouldn't be in my world. And that goes for anybody. Like, letting go of family because of the idea of family is such a hard thing to do, especially in African American communities, because of how we were stripped of our families and how we were, you know, separated from them for so long and everything. And like I said, I still think family is the cornerstone, is key to life, is key to success. But I also think that having the right people around you is important no matter what. And people who know who they are, who are confident in who they are, who trust in God, who have like minds as you is important, and it's essential no matter what aspects it is. I just think you should just be intentional. Be intentional. Step into your power, into your truth, and do what's best for you. So yes, y'all, I definitely recommend. I also recommend it if you feel like you're in a space where your family may be holding you back. Also be honest with them and communicate with them. Do get a therapist, talk to your therapist for sure as well, but also be honest with them and communicate with them. That's key, like, because don't just start cutting people off without, you know, especially your family, like, don't just start cutting people off without communicating and expressing and standing up for yourself. But definitely if they still trying to, you know, it's okay to let go of those things, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that show. So thank you for watching Life and Laughter with Sharisia Janee, episode 5, y'all. And I just want to thank y'all literally for keeping in touch, staying in the community, and let's keep growing, y'all. Like, subscribe, share, tell your cousins, tell your side chicks, your brothers, ex-wives, baby mamas, whoever. Everybody could come join the community and love on one another in life and laughter with Sharisia Janee. So thank y'all for watching.